now that we have a finished campfire, leave your scariest ghost story down below. What's up everyone, and welcome back to rossross. I'm Ross, and this is the channel where I let Bob Ross teach me how to paint. Today I'm going to be doing Season 3, Episode 10, Campfire. I thought it would be a nice Halloween painting. We can all gather around at the end and tell ghost stories or something. To start out, Bob takes a good bit of cad yellow. He's going to lay this in where he wants the campfire to go. Bob's gonna do this a few times, starting at the center of where the campfire is each time and working out so that we get that nice bright spot in the middle. It sure is taking a minute to get the right color that I want. Now Bob's gonna have us mix up a nice pile of alizarin crimson and Van Dyke brown. Bob's gonna take that dark color and lay in the indication for some distant trees. So he just kind of pulls down and lets it disappear. I'm gonna give this one a nice strong limb. Make another couple of big ones over on this side. Bob also throws the indication of like some little smaller things happening here. With that same dark color, we're gonna lay in the indication of some leaves for these trees that we just put in. Wherever we think they should be, but make it make sense. Maybe there's even a little bush that just kind of pokes out here and disappears. Bob's gonna get back into his yellows a little bit. We're gonna give some shading on these trees where the campfire is hitting them. So Bob says be very sparing. Especially out here where it's further from the campfire. Now, I'm pretty nervous about this next part because Bob wants to make these trees look even further away. So he comes and he lightly just like blends everything and then swoops it, and it just makes it look like it's in the mist in the background. So hopefully I can do that without losing all these good colors that I've got going. Bob also wants us to give this a little swoop. I don't know. Alright, I had to be super careful and light with that, but I think it came out pretty good. Made some more of my dark color. We're going to take a good bit of that. We're going to lay in the indication for some big old trees that kind of come off of this side. Maybe we got one over here as well. Maybe not quite as big though. Next, Bob's going to take a little bit of his bright red and mix that with some of this primary yellow. We're going to touch in some shading on these bushes as well. Bob says just keep letting it disappear as it gets a little further away. Next, Bob's gonna take a little bit of his Van Dyke brown. He's gonna lay in an indication of a couple logs in this fire. And using Van Dyke brown still, just Van Dyke brown, Bob's gonna come and start laying in where his path is gonna be. Bob's gonna mix some burnt umber and some yellow ochre. That's way too dark. Yeah, that's way better. We're gonna get a thin roll of that. And just give this some really nice light shading across the path. Alright, Bob's gonna get into some of his yellow. We're just gonna lay in some little grassy areas here. Bob's gonna have a little fun with this campfire. He's gonna take just a bit of this cad yellow, lay in a little extra fire here. Bob's gonna get a little bit more of his Van Dyke brownish color. He's gonna lay in some dark area over here. And then he's gonna get back into his yellows. We're gonna lay in a little pond that's here reflecting this campfire. So Bob just kinda pulls down with some cad yellow. And then gives it the nice light swoop. I kind of feel like that got rid of a lot of my yellow. Now let's see how this swoop goes. Much better. Bob comes back for his Van Dyke brown. He says maybe there's a little projection that comes out here. And then he gets some of his highlight color. Gives that a little nice shading. Bob's gonna get back into his yellows, maybe a little bit more red. We're gonna put some grass on this as well. Bob's gonna take a tiny bit of yellow and give a little projection out here. Bob's gonna get some of his Van Dyke brown, and we're gonna make a big old tree here that comes right off the page. We're also going to give this tree a nice limb that comes off. And Bob's gonna get into his shading color. Just give that a nice bit of shading. Bob's gonna get into his dark color. We're gonna make a little man here leaning up against this tree. That's definitely something I've never done before. So there's his little hat. His shoulder comes out there. A little bit more torso. And his legs kind of doing one of those. It's our nice cowboy warming himself by the fire. We're gonna come and figure out where some light's gonna be hitting this guy. This hat's really giving me trouble. That looks better. Bob's gonna get into this same light color. We're gonna add a little water line here. Bob comes back and softens a little bit of these water lines up. Bob's gonna get back in his dark color and give this front tree just a couple of nice leaves. And back into our yellows. We're just gonna give this a nice little shading as well. I think I will take my liner brush and just kind of bring a few little things out of this. Bob says we can also come back with a liner brush and very lightly shade these logs. I think this one's about ready for a signature. Well, here we have another painting. Now we can all sit around it and tell ghost stories with this cowboy. I love how this one came out. The background trees have great depth. This fire looks really cool. It looks like it's just kind of blowing smoke upwards and radiating that nice color throughout the whole painting. All these front things have nice depth. I didn't even expect Bob to do some water, nighttime water, but that came out great too. Thanks so much for another great episode, Bob. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.